Hello, hi. I am G.V. Srinivasarao, Principal, Atomic Energy Central School, Kodamkulam. The present chapter is Structure of Atom, Module 4. In the previous module, we discussed about the defects in Rutherford's model of atom, characteristics of wave, black body radiation, photoelectric effect, hydrogen spectrum, and Bohr's model of atom. In the present module, let us discuss the limitations of Bohr's model, dual nature of matter, significance of wave nature in case of bigger objects, contribution by Arnold Sommerfeld, Heisenberg's uncertainty principle and its significance, quantum mechanical theory. Now let us discuss the limitations of Bohr's model of atom. Bohr's model could not explain the spectra of atoms more than one electron. It could not explain even hydrogen spectrum using a high resolution spectroscope. Each spectral line, when observed under a high resolution spectroscope, each line is observed as closely spaced lines. Splitting of each spectral line under the influence of a strong magnetic field into closely spaced lines is called Zeeman effect. Similarly, splitting of each spectral line under the influence of a strong electric field into closely spaced lines is called Stark effect. Bohr's model could not explain the Zeeman effect and Stark effect. De Broglie, a French physicist, in 1923 proposed dual nature of matter. As such, electron being a material particle exhibits wave nature. Bohr's model ignored the dual nature of electron as proposed by de Broglie. According to Heisenberg, it is impossible to determine simultaneously the exact position and exact momentum of small moving particles like electrons. And this principle is Heisenberg's uncertainty principle. The postulate of Bohr that electrons move into well-defined orbits around the nucleus is therefore not valid. Thus, Bohr's model contradicts uncertainty principle. Bohr's model could not explain the ability of atoms to form molecules and their geometry and shapes. Now let us see the dual nature of matter. Einstein in 1905 proposed that light has dual nature, that is, wave nature and particle-like nature. De Broglie derived the relationship for the calculation of wavelength of the wave associated with the particle. From Einstein's mass energy equivalence, E equal to mc square, this is equation number 1. From Max Planck quantum theory, we have E equal to h nu, energy of photon is h nu, that equal to h into c by lambda. This is equation number 2. So from 1 and 2 equations, we have E equal to mc square equal to h c by lambda, or h equal lambda equal to h by mc. In case of light, speed is c, and in case of a particle in motion, its speed is v. Thus, wavelength of wave associated with electron in motion is given by lambda equal to h by mv, and this is referred as de Broglie's wave equation, or lambda equal to h by p, where p is the momentum. Relation between wavelength and kinetic energy. We know that kinetic energy E equal to 1 by 2 mc square. On rearrangement, bring this m to this side, m equal to, multiplying the equation with m on either side, me equal to 1 by 2 m square v square, or 2 me cap e equal to me whole square, or under root 2 me equal to mv. And finally, lambda equal to h by under root 2 me. And we know that electrical energy equal to charge into voltage. Thus, lambda equal to h by under root 2 m qv. Now let us discuss the significance of wave nature of different objects. For electron of mass 9.1 into 10 power 31 kilogram and velocity 6 into 10 power 6 meters. Now the wavelength of wave associated with electron is given by h by mv, and substituting all these values, we get 121 into 10 power minus 12 meter. And we know that the waves have a wavelength ranging from 1 meter to 10 to the power minus 12 or minus 15 meters. Therefore, the wavelength of wave associated with electron-like particles, it is significant. On the other hand, if we see the wavelength associated with wave by bigger objects ranging from 1 milligram and above, here we took the example of a mass of 1 gram moving with a velocity of 1 meter per second, and with the usual measurements, this object is 1 gram and velocity 1 meter per second, and it is a macroscopic molecule. Macroscopic molecule means a bigger one when compared to electron. So on calculating the wavelength associated with the wave by this particle, it is obtained as 6.626 into 10 to the power minus 34 meter, which is very small. So such a small measurements cannot be calculated or cannot be measured. Therefore, in case of bigger objects whose mass is 1 milligram or above, the wavelength associated with the wave by such objects is not significant. The contribution of Arnold Sommerfeld. Arnold Sommerfeld concluded that the difference in energy between the electrons, even though they were at the same energy level, was due to the existence of energetic sublevels within each level. Sommerfeld relied on the law of Coulomb to state that if an electron is subjected to a force inversely proportional to the square of the distance, the described path should be elliptical and not strictly circular. In addition, it was based on the theory of Einstein's relativity to give a different treatment to electrons and to evaluate their behavior based on the speeds reached by these fundamental particles. After several months of studies applying the Coulomb law and the theory of relativity to explain the shortcomings of Bohr's model, in 1916, he announced two basic modifications on the Bohr's model. That is, the orbits of electrons can be circular or elliptical. Electrons reach the relativistic speeds, that is, the values close to the speed of the light. Here in the diagram, the elliptical orbit proposed by Sommerfeld is given here, and this ellipse has two radii, that is maximum and minimum. Here it is shown that in each main level, the sublevels are shown. Sommerfeld proposed azimuthal quantum number. Azimuthal quantum number denoted by L, which describes the minor axis of ellipse proposed by him. The values of L ranges from 0 to n-1, where n is the principal quantum number. Depending on the value of azimuthal quantum number, Sommerfeld assigned different denominations for the orbits as shown below. Here, the sublevels are designated as SPDF. S for sharp orbital, P principal or pronounced orbital, D diffused orbital, and F foggy or fundamental orbital. Thus, from the previous discussion, it is concluded that in the table it is given that principal quantum number, azimuthal quantum number, and subshell notation. In the principal quantum number n equal to 1, that is the first level, or k shell, azimuthal quantum number value is 0 and it has only one subshell, that is 1s. In second main level, denoted by L, it has two subshells, that is azimuthal quantum number for these subshells s is 0, p is 1, and the notation for the subshells is 2s and 2p. Similarly, in third main level, there are three subshells and their azimuthal quantum number values respectively are 0, 1, 2, and the subshells are 3s, 3p, and 3d. Similarly, in the fourth main level, that is principal quantum number n equal to 4, it has 4 subshells, that is 4s, 4p, 4d, 4f. And respective azimuthal quantum number values, L values are 0, 1, 2, 3. Heisenberg's uncertainty principle. It states that it is impossible to determine simultaneously the exact position and exact momentum or exact velocity of a particle like electron in motion. And the uncertainty principle is expressed mathematically as delta x into delta p is more than or equal to h by 4 pi